Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Atul from IT Codes. Today we are going to learn about JavaScript ES6 functions, which every programmer or developer should be knowing. We are going to learn about using every, map and reduce function, which are ES6 functions, that is modern JS functions, which are very useful for every developer to make tasks easier. So let's learn how to implement these functions. So for that, we create an HTML file. We name it as JS functions.html. Now we start the script tag. So first and foremost, we are going to learn about the function which is known as every. Now where every will be used. In some cases, we are having some values and we want to check each and every value for a specific condition. To check that, in normal JS or any programming, what we will be doing is we will be running a for loop or checking each and every value inside a loop. But to reduce this, advanced and modern JavaScript has implemented a function named as every. Now how to use it? Supposingly we are having a constant over here. We name the constant as salaries and we define an array over here. Supposing the values are 3000, 5000 and 9000. These are salary of 3 employees supposingly. Now we want to check that each and every salary inside this particular function is this function array is greater than 3500. So for that we define a constant as all greater equals to, we have the array, the name is salaries, so we specify it salaries dot, we use the function every. Now as you type every, the intelligence shows me salary arrow function and salary greater than 4. So the parameter or the value which this function takes is a function, a ES6 arrow function, and we specify it over here like this. We give the variable over here as salary arrow function, and then we specify that salary greater than 3000. Now what this function will do, it will check each and every value from this particular array, that is salaries dot every. So for every value inside this particular array, this will run and this will check this function value. This is short form or ES6 function which we define over here, that is arrow functions. So we specify salary over here, each and every salary will be traveling over here, and the condition is salary greater than 3000. So if every salary is greater than 3000, then it will return me true, or else it will return me false. So for printing this particular value, we should have a div tag over here. We define a div and we give us id as salary check, and to output this value we specify over here as document dot get element by id. Now this function will get this element by id, so we give the name as salary check over here, which we already defined, and the property would be inner html. We want to print within this particular function, this particular div. So inner html equals to, I specify as all greater. We save the file, we try to run that file. it says salary is not defined. There is a typo mistake. I refresh it and it is giving me false. Now it is giving me false because one of the value is 3000 and it is not satisfying this particular condition which we gave in the ES6 function, that is salary should be greater than 3000. If we increase the value over here, that is I raise the value to 4000 and I again save it, I refresh, it is showing me true. So this is how every function can be used. Every will allow you to check all the values inside a particular array with a particular condition. That condition has to be specified inside a arrow function, ES6 arrow function. So this was your first function, every. Now the next function which we are going to check is map, which is very important function for modern coding. So we define a constant over here. We supposedly give as employee names equals to. Now this array we define it as an object. So each and every value of this particular array itself will be an object. So we define an object as first name. We give employee names over here. Last name we specify as. So this is first value. This is an object type value of an array which we defined over here as employee names. Second value is we define two values over here more. We need to specify a comma. We specify the second name. So we have three employees and three employees first name and last name are object values. So each and every value is written over here. Now what we want to do using your map function is, what the map function actually does. Map function will create a copy of this particular array and we can manipulate or get output using the values inside this particular array. We can get a new array using your map function. Basically map function will generate a new array depending on our condition. So for that we define as m constant again and const emp full name supposedly. So we define it as emp full name equals to, now the name of the array is employees. So we say employees names dot, we use the function as map. Now what are the parameter of map function? The parameter of map function itself is an inline function. So over here we define an inline function. To define inline function we write function over here and we pass a parameter inside it. Supposing the parameter is ELEM, that is element, or ELEM short form, whatever you want to define you can define it over here. It is a variable or a parameter and the function starting curly bracket. So we define an inline function inside your map function. So what will happen is each and every value of this particular employee's object values will be traveling inside ELM. So inside this particular inline function, what we will be doing is we want to return the joint names, that is the full names. So return, and we are using a backtick over here. Now this is not single quote, but this is backtick. Backtick why? When we want to join a variable with a text value inside and return it, we have to use backtick instead of your single quote. So we define it with a backtick over here, backtick, and I deal the value as dollar curly bracket, curly braces, and ELM. So that is ELM dot. As you specify dot, you can see you get the pop-up of the object inside that particular array. It is specifying my first name. So I give a first name over here. Then we want to join it. We want to concatenate it with that. So again we say dollar ELM and we specify as last name. So what this will do, this map function will travel each and every object inside this particular array, and after that we concatenate it using return statement. So now what we will be getting is we will be getting Amit and Patel together. So we get a new array with this new values which are having joint values of that first name and last name. So for that we want to print this again. So we specify another div over here. We give it a ID as EMP names, and below the same process document dot get element by ID, and we give it as EMP names dot inner HTML equals to, we are having a new array as EMP full names. So we specify that array over here. As we save and refresh our page, you can see you are getting the concatenated names. That is, you are getting it over here. That is Amit Patel, Ravi Shah, and Ankit Desai. So what that map function actually did, the map function generated a new array using the object value inside the first array, and what we did was we just joined them with a space, and for that we are using the backtick and we are traveling to element dot first name and element dot last name. So this is the map function. Third function which we are going to see is reduce. Reduce is also a very useful function. How it works, supposingly we are having a cart over here, so we define a cart as a variable that is const, and we define it as square bracket, and inside it we give again object as we declared over here first name last name. Inside a cart we will be having a PID over here, that is product ID. Supposingly we are having product ID as 1, then we specify as product name, that is P name, and we specify it as, supposingly we are having shoes, and the third value of a cart would be the price of that particular thing. So supposingly shoes value is 4,000. We want to specify 3 more items or 2 more items, so we copy this, paste it, specify the name as over here, supposingly jeans. So our cart array is having 3 objects and 3 values, 3 purchased objects, that is shoes, jeans and shirt, which are having individual values. Now what we want is we want the total of this particular cart. So normally if we don't use reduce function, we have to run a loop over this particular values and we have to add it to that sum variable inside the loop or something. But reduce function inside your new JavaScript would do it in a single line. That is, we define a variable with total, that is let total amount, supposingly total amount equals to, we have the array of cart, so cart dot reduce, we use the function as reduce. Now reduce, if you just open and close the bracket, it says callback function, previous values, that is all the values inside it, it will travel it and it will add the summation. Now how to write that particular reduce function? Reduce function also takes the parameter as an ES6 function. So we define the ES6 function over here, and in that ES6 function the parameters of this would be, first parameter will be an accumulator, what an accumulator is, and the second parameter is supposingly current value. So we have 2 parameters over here, and the ES6 function has to be defined over here. So we give the short function over here, that is accumulator, that is we define the name as ACCU plus the current value. So this will define the current value. The current value will be the value of this particular product. So for that we define it as shoes, that is 4000 first. So current value, that is current value dot price, what we want to use from that object. So we use over here as price, and the last parameter is initial value of the accumulator, which we defined over here. So we define it as 0 over here. So this is how the reduce function has to be written. We have to write a ES6 function taking two parameters. One is accumulator, second is current value, and then what we want to do with that current value. So we want to add the price of this thing inside the current value. So we define it as accumulator plus current value dot price. So we take the price from this particular object, and accumulator has to be set with the initial value. That initial value is defined over by 0. So for that, initial value will be 0. So first the accumulator will be 0, then the current value, that is current value dot price. So price will be 4000. So how this will work is 0 plus, that is accumulator is 0, 0 plus current value dot price. So current value will be first 4000. So it will take 4000 over here. So 0 plus 4000 will be 4000. Then next traveling value will be 2000. So now our accumulator is already 4000. So it will say 4000 plus 2000. And then again it is 4000, that is 6000, 6000 plus again your 1000. So this is how it will be working. So we try to print that total amount. So for that also we will be having a div over here. We define the ID as total AMT, and at the bottom what we can do is we can say document dot get element by ID. Again the variable is total AMT, and total AMT dot inner HTML equals to the total amount variable which we got over here. Let's see whether it gives the total. So you get it 7000. So this is how your reduce function shortens your entire task of calculating a value using your reduce. Reduce works in this way. You have two parameters inside your ES6 function. We are repeating it, ACCU, and the second value is current value. This is also a variable whichever you want to give, you can give it over here. And the function should be doing the calculation or whatever you want to do on this particular array. So ACCU has to be initialized over here. The accumulator variable has to be initialized, the third parameter of your reduce function. We specify 0 over here. So first will be 0 plus current value dot price, that is 0 plus 4000. It makes accumulator to be 4000. Next it will travel on the second value. The second value will be 2000 plus the initial value of accumulator, that is making the total to be 6000, and the last value will make it to be 1000. So these are three functions. In next session we will be learning more on JavaScript functions. Hope this was helpful. Please subscribe our channel for more videos on coding, JavaScripts and everything. Thank you.